And we are live. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome everyone. Come on in. We're going to give people a chance to join us and allow people to get logged in today. How's everyone doing? Who do we have on here today? Got two people here. I'm giving people a chance to join on, y'all. I'll give about 30 seconds to a minute more and we'll get started with our podcast for today. Okay, y'all, we're going to do our countdown and we'll be right back with you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the SilverFox Sonya podcast with her Foxies. Today we have one that couldn't make it with us today, Kendra Black Barbie. She could not make it with us today, and we hate she can't be here with us today, especially since SilverFox Sonya podcast has its own site now. So all of you all, yes, all of you all that have been following me on SilverFox Sonya, if you could please, if you have not yet gone over to SilverFox Sonya and followed me there on that site, because SilverFox Sonya will be going down and will be more so for personal, family, and friends. So again, welcome. This is our 4th or 5th episode, ladies.
I think it's maybe like number 5.
I think this is number 5. Number 5. So we've discussed. Oh, wait. Before we get to that, let me let my Foxies introduce themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Or you want me to introduce you all?
No, we can do it.
Sure, okay, go ahead. Introduce yourselves.
Okay, well, hey y'all, Lauren Melissa here. I am driving. I'm in the car. And it made me think about, I don't know if y'all not watch, but listen to the Russ Power Morning Show when it was out and on like a syndicated radio show. I live in Michigan, so I don't know if it was on the air where y'all was. But they used to have people call in and they're like, where you calling from? And they're like, my car. And they say, my car. So I'm calling from my car. I am en route. I went to Detroit for the weekend and I'm headed back home to the other side of the state of Michigan. But yes, Lauren Melissa here reporting for duty. How y'all doing?
We good. And next, it's you, girl.
aka Sham, aka formerly known as Red. So I'm here tuning in from north side of Houston, Texas, Willowbrook area. Waiting to get in on this little podcast we got going on. So you got a surprise for us. We're trying to figure out what
Yes, I
it's gonna be about
do.
to be about, because I don't know.
I do have a surprise for y'all. So, for the past episodes, we have talked about safety. We have spoken about stipulations in dating. We have talked about recycles. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to change it up a little bit. In the video that I posted of you all when y'all were here at my house, back in, was that October you were here, Lauren, and you came in, and I posted it in November of 2020,
Mm-hmm.
introducing you all as my Foxies. There was a comment. I don't know if you all read the comments, but there was a comment made by a gentleman. His name is James E. Fitchett. So his comment was, I don't hear any women on here saying anything about their faults. Stop just focusing on other people. Healing and growth starts with the person in the mirror. So today, we are going to look at the woman in the mirror,
I love talking about the man in the mirror.
right? And for me, I am asking her to change her ways.
Okay.
So, um, I can say during this pandemic, ladies, we know this pandemic has been turmoil for many people.
A roller
People
coaster. So
getting
many.
COVID, people losing family members, people alone and by themselves, um, and really dealing with depression, wanting to kill themselves, and just
Yeah.
being alone. So I can say for me, it's been sad. It's been at sometimes depressing, but then the good thing about it is it has allowed me to spend time with, as in that video we had on the 20th, y'all were saying, I hope the men are spending time with themselves and getting to know themselves and working on their credit. So during this pandemic, I said I was going to work on me. And
Mm-hmm.
during this pandemic, um, God has revealed things to me. I started off talking about um, momentary marriage, what I went through with that, 17 years a wife, what I went through with that. And then, looking back over my life, the patterns, how did I get here? What are the faults? Um, Dating shenanigans. Why are we still on this merry-go-round of dating shenanigans?
It's
Is
a
there
short.
any,
There's
huh?
because
I say it's a shortage.
there's a shortage and there's pee in the dating pool. Okay, there is pee in the dating pool. It is contaminated and not much to choose from. So there you have it.
Chemicals are being released down here in Houston in these pools, so
See what I'm saying?
it's just not pee. It's chemicals that are supposed to be used to clean the pools, but they getting out. So
I can't
But
wait to dive
anyway, so
into
you go
this
ahead.
topic. I can't wait because I have so
I
much to
know.
say
Go
about
ahead,
this.
Sonya. I want to see
you
what's
have
going
so
on
much
with
to
you.
know. No, let Lauren speak. Go ahead, Lauren.
So I I'm glad that he posted the question of like y'all talk about what men need to do, but what about you? And I hear that sentiment a lot actually. However, we're in the circles and conversations I've been a part of. To me, I feel like dang if you do work on yourself, right? So dang if you don't work on yourself because you're not preparing yourself to be a wife. How do you think you're gonna get a man if you're not taking care of yourself? But then when you do apply the necessary measures to like care for yourself, to prepare, to really set yourself up to where when you do meet the man, you got it going on, then they be like, oh, you got a man.
She's going in and out, but I see where she's going with that. Same here, Lauren. Whenever she comes back in, I'm gonna chime in till she comes back in. But I hear what she's saying, and we do prep and we do prepare and we do see our faults. However, I've had a couple of people I've dated say, "Were you too independent?" Matter of fact, let me take you back to this conversation I had with an ex. So he was basically like, he's like, "You too independent. Like, what do you need a man for?" And so I had to tell him, I was like, I do these things because I have to. It's not because I want to. Like, it's because I have to. Like, there's nobody else here to do it.
Actually sets herself up to prepare for.
And then she went. Lauren, you're cutting in
You
and
hear
out.
us, Lauren?
I am back. I'm back.
Okay.
I can hear you.
So were you trying to say, like, you try, but it's backfired on you, like with the responses from the guys? Because that's what I was kind of going with that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been a part of a lot of conversations, and a lot of men have been like commenting like, you know, she doesn't know how to submit, or she talk about everything that she has and everything that she's worked on, but you know, they look at it as a threat. Like, to your point, it's like either we're too independent or we're expecting a man to come save us, like a damsel in distress, right? Damsel in distress. Like, so it's like, men, what do you like? I want to say that, like, there is no question that women do recognize their faults, and they do take the time to, you know, get themselves together. I will say that mature women do that, right? Women who are like tired of the games and actually want to be married or want to be in a successful relationship, we actually do take the time to improve ourselves. But then we run into the people where it's like they're intimidated by women who got their stuff together because they're projecting their insecurities onto us. So, you know, I would be interested if any man that's listening to the podcast wants to like chime in the comments and like
Lost her again.
It's okay.
There she.
y'all always talking about what the man needs to do, blah 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 blah. But it's like, but anyways, I'll be home in like 15 minutes, so I won't go in and out. But I'm gonna stop talking so y'all can get y'all point in.
No, if you could repeat what you said again.
So I basically was saying I'll be interested to see what like any man that's listening has to say. Because again, I feel like if we do take care of ourselves, it's y'all too independent. Y'all act like y'all don't need a man, and then when we don't take the time, it's like, well, who y'all waiting on? You waiting for a man to save you? Ain't no man gonna come around and save you. And it's like, okay, what do you want?
We don't have any comments as of yet. If y'all like to make comments in the comment section, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
So and just something that Lauren has said, like they're like, and I hear that a lot, like the women of this generation, or the I'm not gonna say this generation because we're in a dating pool. We come from all different type of generations, right? We just all in the same piss pool right about now. However, we do know how to submit, and I think people like take that word and they twist it a little bit when it comes to submission. And like, we do know how to submit. I just want to let them know that, but we need to know who we submitting to, you know. And then I think also, like, they need to understand, like, when we've been independent for so long and we're used to handling things on our own, for us to relinquish that trust over to you, you know, and for us to follow you after we relinquish that trust. For me, I'm like, who you following? Where you going? I think I said this before. Who you following? Where you going? What exes we taking? I'm a rider, but I ain't finna die for you. I'm sorry. So I'm a rider. I am not a die. I ain't going to jail for you. I ain't going to prison for you. You know, I need to know what you're doing legal. I need to know who you following, whose voice you listening to. I need to know you're listening to the voice of God. You know, we're going to be in this union together, but we do know how to submit, but you have to understand, like, you know, we need to know who you submitting to. You know, where you going, what route you taking. We just not gonna just like willingly and just ignorant just submit and just throw everything over to you after we've been doing it for so long. So I want them to understand that.
Yeah. And let me catch people up. So there's been some more people that join us. We are talking about a comment that someone made on one of our posts regarding a post that I posted of us four ladies sitting here at my house back in November. And we were talking about what we wanted in a man, what we were looking for, and a comment that was given by a Mr. Fitchett was, I don't hear any women on here saying anything about their faults. Stop just focusing on other people. Healing and growth starts with the person in the mirror. So we're just talking about, you know, the faults of ourselves. But really, we haven't even talked about our own faults and dealing with our stuff.
I have a question. Have you been following this Mr. Fidget to see have
No,
he
I
been
have
on
not.
the
No, I
other
have not.
podcasts? Because I think I commented before, like the first dating shenanigans about working on ourselves and okay. But he needs to
No.
come back in and look at and listen to the rest of these podcasts and he'll know it's not one-sided.
Absolutely, absolutely, for sure.
We are holding
So,
ourselves accountable as well.
so ladies, so Foxies, let me ask you this. So in dealing in his comment, what are you doing to make sure that you have dealt with your past and you're not carrying anything? And you, okay, let me ask this question first and then I'm going to take it another route before you even answer. What are you doing to make sure you've dealt with your past? And do you think the things that you've dealt with in your past, you are still dealing with today when it comes to dating?
I can answer. What have I been doing to deal with things of my past? Therapy, number one,
Okay.
and number two, really cutting off the guy, right? The like, so that means unfollow on social media, delete the number in my phone, no traces, no face, no case, right? That kind of thing. As far as do I think that I'm completely over whatever I'm trying to be healed from, I'm gonna say no, because I found that one, it's a journey. It's not like a
That
one and
is true.
done.
It most
It's not
definitely
like
is.
it's not like you go to 3 sessions and it's like magic wiped away, because what happens is men, unfortunately, the characteristics that got you into whatever place or hurt you or whatever you need to heal from, they manifest in a different person in a different
Yeah.
way. So I feel like it's a same person, different face kind of thing. It's like you once you get to know the person, you like, dang,
Yes.
I've experienced this before, and you either have the option to walk away or be like, all right, I'm stronger now. I'm about to see if I can overcome it. Like, so I think we have a choice to determine of
Right.
like whether or
Balance
not,
yourself.
yeah. And so
Your growth.
sometimes I'll be honest, we don't make the right choices, right? Sometimes
Yeah,
you make the
for
choice
sure.
and you be like, dang, I shouldn't have stayed, or I shouldn't have kept talking to this guy. But you don't know unless you go through it. And so that's why I said it's a journey, because you can stop talking to the one guy, but then you still have to go to therapy, and then you go to therapy and your therapist tell you, girl, we talked about this
You
2 years ago, right?
right?
So I would say that it's like a cycle. It's an ongoing cycle. The same way
Ongoing.
you know dating is. When you're dating, you're trying to get to know people, and unfortunately, it's not like we're dating with like you meet a person and be like, hi, here's a 50 question questionnaire. Can you fill it out? And you get the questionnaire back, and it's like, oh, you got a 20 out of 50. Can't talk to you. That's not how we date. You actually have
Yeah.
to spend time with somebody. And unfortunately, we're women. Women are emotional. Women, get attached quickly.
Mhm.
And so sometimes you have to detach yourself from that. So that's my 2 cents. I go to therapy, and When I say therapy, I mean a therapist that is licensed, not your mama, not your friends. Because sometimes those people enable you to be like, oh, you can do it because they want to see you married, or your mama wants you
Mm,
to have some kids. So they
That
have
can be
ulterior
biased.
motives. Right. They got some motives behind them. So it's
Girl,
like, I
not
need
have some
someone.
kids, not force buns in your oven.
No, that, listen, for
She's
me,
tracking both your girl. She's tracking both your ovaries.
yes, for me, my mama is like, we still praying for whatever. And she had a conversation with me the other day, and she was like, yeah, Lauren, I told her, I was like, are you gonna be okay when if there's a possibility that I don't get married and I don't have kids? And she says, well, I mean, you can do in vitro. I said, I'm not finna be no single mom. She said, I'll
single
help
mom.
you. I said, okay, no, thank you. Like,
Girl,
no,
she's
I'm
trying to get them
okay.
grandbabies in however she can.
Okay. So, no.
She
But
said in
so
vitro.
that's where my 2 cents is.
Okay. So
What are
I,
you doing, Sonya?
what am I doing?
What are you doing?
I have a list of therapists to call, but I haven't called any of them. But it is on my 2021 agenda for this year. However, in telling my story, that helped me a lot,
Mm-hmm.
as well as the dreams. I've been having dreams. So dealing with that, telling the momentary marriage, the 17 years a wife, and then things that have just been coming to me in dreams. So it dawned on me that the things that I allow happen now in relationships was happening to me 44 years ago.
44 years ago?
44 years ago.
Explain that.
So 44 years ago, I had my first kiss.
Oh, snap.
You heard me. 44 years ago. Now, y'all, I wasn't a fast little girl. I don't think I was a fast little girl. But 44 years ago, I had my first kiss. And that first kiss lasted for 9 to 10 years. And I never told anybody about it. Um, I got caught kissing him one time
That
by
was a
my
bomb.
mama. I just knew I was gonna be in trouble. She was
That was
gonna
a
beat
bomb
me.
kiss, wasn't it?
It
It lasted that long. That was a bomb kiss.
lasted 9 to 10 years off and on.
Ooh.
It's almost like, how can I describe it? The
You was
movie
tongue
Love,
involved, Sonya?
huh?
Was it tongue involved?
¿Qué? ¿Cómo? No comprende. No
Tongue.
comprende.
Now you don't understand English, okay?
No comprende.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, y'all remember the movie Love and Basketball?
Yep. One of my favorites.
And it's like the little boy liked her, but then he was mean to her.
That's how they do. That's how they do.
So, and he
Somebody needs to teach
never,
him to love.
huh?
I say somebody needs to teach him how to love properly.
I don't think it's that he didn't love properly. I think it was one of those things, he had a crush, but I was supposed to be like his sister. Just,
Okay.
you know, it was just like we were we were best friends growing
That's
up
how
as
it
little
starts.
kids. Huh?
That's how it starts.
Yeah, but then he was just always so mean to me.
Okay.
Even through the teen years or whatever. It was only when his friends was around,
Okay.
So that I was like, I allowed that then, you know, as a youngster. And then my junior high little puppy love I had or whatever, it was like the same thing when we got to high school. He um just like turned, you know? It's like
Mhm.
they never wanted to choose you. So the guy in junior high, it was Valentine's Day, and I don't remember if it was in ninth or the 10th grade. I had purchased him this herringbone necklace. And I don't know if you all remember, we got one generation behind me and two generations behind me.
No, I
Um,
remember. I remember.
you remember? Do you
We used
remember
to
the?
call it, okay, I don't know you from Pearland, but see, we from that north side, fofo. So we call them flats. We know they're herringbones,
Yes,
but we used to call them flats because they were
but
like flat on our chest, had them collarbones popping.
girl, you're silly. But on the opposite of that herringbone necklace, it would have words on it, or it would been it was
Yes.
inscripted, and it
Yep.
said, "I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you," all the way from one side to the other.
Yep.
You remember those, Lauren? No.
Lauren looking lost over there. Like that
Okay.
must
Well,
be a Texas
anyways,
thing.
I gave him that necklace for Valentine's Day at school. An hour later, he then turned around and gave it to this other girl, and she wearing it around campus.
Girl, did you go snatch it off her neck?
Oh, I went and confronted him and said something about it, but he told her I was lying.
Oh, so see, that's when you just go over to her and just like straight just snatch it off her neck.
I'm not from the fofo. I'm from
Mm,
Pearland.
I
So,
can tell
and
by your
God can
accent.
always handle it better than you can anyway. So I just let it go.
You knew that at that age? You knew that in
Huh?
middle school?
I did what in middle school?
I say you knew that in middle school that God can handle it better than you could?
Yeah, I was an old spirit, and I'm
Girl,
still an old spirit. You know
anointed.
that.
He's anointed. Hallelujah.
So I noticed, later on in life now, and like I say, I'm looking at the woman in the mirror. I just don't allow those things won't be allowed in my life anymore. So
I know
as
they
far
won't, because I'll be right here to be like, oh, hell to no. We're not doing that over here. What your
look,
daddy?
Lord looking at me like poor
No,
Amy. But
no.
yeah. So I
Mm-mm.
know that's a fault that probably started years ago, and it's just been I thought it was okay.
Mm.
So yeah.
Mhm. I would have to say, for me, I always take breaks in between. I kind of learned that at an early age, growing up in church or whatever, and just being single, and then just being a single mom at an early age. I was like, always attending like whatever single functions the church would have at the time or whatever. So that was something that was kind of revealed to me, earlier in my life or whatever. So for me,
Hmm.
I would always take time, in between relationships and just be able to like be by myself, just kind of reflect on things. And then man, I oh thank God for growth. But I was known for holding a grudge and just like being mad at you forever and just like not speaking to you. And then those are things that I didn't want to take into my next relationship. So for me, I needed space. So I learned to take space. And I would say maybe another thing that I realized this past year as well that was very therapeutic to me as well was writing. In high school, I always enjoyed writing. English was my favorite language. So I started keeping journals again too. You know, um, Keeping journals, just writing my thoughts down and just recording stuff. And that's therapeutic to me. But I do want to
Hmm.
get on Lauren's page. Like it is on my agenda to actually start seeing a counselor as well. Because I realized there are some things that has come up, and not necessarily with the past relationship, but things that was probably kind of happened like throughout childhood and whatnot, that I feel like can take a part in a relationship when it comes to trust issues and being, protected and things of that nature. So that is my next step is to actually sit down and talk to a counselor. But I have started writing. I went back to writing, in my journal as well because it is therapeutic for me.
So we have some comments here. Guys, the comments that just popped up on my screen. I wasn't seeing them. We don't need a man. Hello, Teresa, but we do desire that companionship. Then she said, hold on, finding a guy that's confident in his manhood has been the hardest thing to find.
It is
But
one of the hardest things to find.
yes, but he can only have that confidence in Christ. And that is so true.
So true. So true. So true. What is Bud's question? What's your question? Did he go back and put what
Bud,
his question was? I want to
Bud,
know. Bud
Bud.
Anderson says, I have a question.
Is he still on?
I don't know. This was
Bud, are you still on?
roughly 6 minutes ago.
So
But
here's Mr. Dennis says, everyone has a story, men and women. Each
yes,
one's past can be a lesson to be learned. So
yes,
true. Moving forward, one should be dating with a purpose.
always,
Fact.
especially if
Believe
you're a
me,
certain age.
especially if what?
If you're a certain age, we ain't got time to waste.
That is correct. Believe
We know.
me, men are just as emotional as women, more emotional, I believe. If
Mm-hmm.
they're not afraid to be vulnerable in their transparency.
Yeah.
But for men to be vulnerable in their transparency, they have
Mhm.
to find that place to be vulnerable.
Bud came back and said yes. But what are you saying yes about? Are you saying yes, you're still there? We would like to know what your question is.
What is your question, Bud?
Okay. Yeah, they are. Men are emotional too. They big ass babies. Um,
Marion.
they are babies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's okay.
They just hide it. I think they hide it
Y'all
more
can
than
be
we do.
babies.
We let our emotions out, and they kind of hide it and put a guard up.
This is true.
So we women tend to be a little bit more emotional and voice it.
And someone said this must be ladies only. No, it's not ladies only. It's for the men as well. We just have only ladies on the panel at the moment. See if Bud came back and asked a question.
So I remember when you were going back in your original um question that was posed from that podcast that we taped at your house. So he said, was we working on ourselves? And I hope he's been following the other podcasts and whatnot, but just to let him know that we did talk about before, I think it was like the first date in Shenanigans, to where I even came back and personally said that he was like, because the question was like, are we working on ourselves, right? We're looking at the woman in the mirror. And so one of the things that was revealed to me after doing my separation from my ex-husband was that my mouth, I talked on this before, it was my mouth. And it was how I responded to him, how I talked to him, in a very passive aggressive and condescending way. So that was something that I realized that I said I would not, and I have not taken forward into another relationship. But it took time for me to like sit still, just kind of, I was doing a lot of heavy studying and meditating, throughout my separation and my divorce to try to figure out like which way I should go and what I should do. And that was something that was revealed to me. Like God told me I'm going to have to learn how to talk to a man, especially a Black man. So I realized like how powerful my tongue was. And I used it as a weapon. So that was something that I decided at that moment to not use my tongue as a weapon moving forward, not as a negative weapon. If I'm going to use it as a weapon, it's going to be to uplift you and encourage you and motivate you, but not to hit below the belt, which is what I was doing back then. Which is what I was doing back then. Let's keep it real. I was using it to hit below the belt and piss them off. So, but yeah, so we are, we working on ourselves. We see our faults. It's not one-sided, and I don't want you to ever think that, think that it is. Lauren's back, girl. What you over there sipping on?
Gin and juice.
That look like a pina colada.
No, I had to get a slush or something because I've been driving for 2.5 hours and I got thirsty.
It's okay. It's okay. It's
She
okay.
thirsty. You
So let's see.
quenched.
Did Bud ever come back and say what his
No, Bud has not asked his question. There
Bud got
he is.
scared?
There he is.
Bud got scared.
So, when you are dating in the very beginning, do you feel it's okay to date more than one person? Because I feel like you can't concentrate on that one if you do that.
Mm. You know,
I
multi-dating is supposed to be the new thing. Lauren, go ahead, girl. I want to hear what you
I
got to say.
per- I personally don't date more than one person. My emotions can't handle that, honestly. Many people can. I just don't do it. Um, and if I really want to get to know somebody, I don't have time to be trying to, juggle schedules and be like, I got a date with Jim on Monday, Chris on Thursday. I don't have time for that. I got other stuff to worry about.
Oh Lord. For me personally, I don't. Um, I'm old fashioned in that form to where like I like to focus on one person at a time, and I don't think my schedule would even allow me. I keep a pretty hectic work schedule, so I don't even think my schedule will allow me to date more than one person at a time. It's hard dating one sometimes. But for me, I like to like focus on that person, get to know them, and see what's going to happen and see what's going to evolve from it. And if it doesn't, then it's just like, okay, we're done. We can be friends or not, your choice. Because I had some people say, well, I don't want to be friends. Okay, well, that's fine, But on to the next. But I do like to focus on one person at a time. And I feel like you can only get that true, authentic connection, when you do. If you're too busy focusing on multiple people, it's not going to work. You got to get that person 100% before you decide to move on or look elsewhere. So that's just my personal opinion.
Well, for me, in years past, I believe only dating one person. Now, as I've gotten older, I'm like, if I'm just dating, getting to know people,
Feel a change of heart coming.
I don't see anything wrong with dating multiple people.
I mean, if time allows it for you, so be it. I say if time allows it for you, then so be it. Each his own,
And I wouldn't be kissing on all of them, or if
Girl,
any.
you better not be. I'm gonna come over there and tap that booty.
I don't think it's anything wrong going out getting to know people.
Yeah.
Now, if I got to that point to where I'd be like, I really like this person, I'd be like, okay, I wouldn't talk to these people over here, and then I would let that whoever I'm talking to or dating, let them know I'm dating.
That was my next question. Do you reveal?
You're not the only person that I'm dating.
Okay. Because I am an advocate for the truth.
Yes.
And I've shared this many times. Like, you have to understand. I think it's very important. Like, if you choose to multi-date, that you should let that person know you're multi-dating.
Yes.
I've told you this before, Sonya, and I've told other people this before as well, especially working in healthcare. Like, mental health is very real. So you never know. Like, for me, I look at it like you don't play with people's emotions and you don't play with people's heart. Like, you never know. Like, you can be the last person that person is deciding to give a chance, and you lie to him. Lord forbid, it turns out to be something tragic because you played with that person's heart or that person's emotion. Mm-hmm. And you up on the 6 o'clock news, it's a whole murder suicide because they thought y'all was in love, y'all was exclusive, and y'all was doing whatever. Like, you have to be honest with people. You have to have that conversation of like what y'all are, what y'all doing, and no lies attached to it. No lies attached. Like, please let that person know. You never want to be put in a situation to where someone else thinks something and you're doing something else, and then it blows up and it's a big issue.
So we have this comment from Teresa. I think dating can be very draining. So like the guy said earlier, you should be dating with a purpose. And then also with that, Teresa, I say, there's nothing, I could see myself dating multiple people, but in that you have to be careful too, because people have different energy, and you taking on people's energy when you date multiple people too. So in that aspect, you have to be careful and mindful of that.
Yeah.
And really be choosy, like, okay, do I really want to go to dinner with them? But then we had another question from Mr. Wilson here. It seems like everybody would benefit from therapy and healing. Most definitely.
For
Do
sure.
you believe do you believe it's okay to begin a new relationship during that healing process?
No. 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 I think
For,
during that healing process, you need to take time to heal.
that is true.
You need to take time to heal.
And I agree with her in that, because I after my divorce, I was dating, thought I was good, and I really wasn't. Um, and it caused issues, you know, between me and that person I was trying to date. Because they don't always understand
And then
what
I
you're going
think
through.
also, like, if you're trying to date someone new in your healing process, it can interrupt your healing process.
That's true.
It can stop it prematurely. Like, and it's a human thing. We're all human. So it's just like, you go to counseling for one thing and you say, you want to heal and learn, but then someone else step in that's new, and then it just prematurely stop whatever that was supposed to be exposed or revealed to you during therapy, because you're too busy trying to focus on this person and make this person happy and make this relationship work. So I most definitely think you need to, like, take time to completely heal before you move on. And the whole point in going to therapy was to heal and see what you did wrong, so you don't take it into the next relationship.
Yeah.
So, like, to bring a relationship like in mid therapy, yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Now, I will say, though, I agree with you in that you shouldn't jump right into another relationship once you've, you know, attempted the healing process. But if you already have a friend or a person that you've started to get to know, on a friend basis, not on like the romantic stance, they can help you get over what it is, right? So I imagine it like, sorry, my dog is going crazy. I imagine it like what is it on Grey's Anatomy when Meredith Grey was like, "This is my person," right? I think there's strength in like having someone go through something with you, and I'm not trying to say or encourage someone having a trauma partner or someone bonding. It's called trauma bonding. Don't do that, because that can be more harmful. But if you have a person that can help you think logically or think through things that, when you can't get into your therapy appointment, and they can help talk you through whatever, like a thought or two, I think that's helpful and beneficial, right? So I'm not saying cut yourself off to the world or cut yourself off from maybe something that started off to be like a good thing or whatever, because it could just be a friend. I've had that conversation with someone, and they were like, "Why don't y'all date y'all friends, y'all male friends?" And I was against it at first, but then I was like, actually, yeah, maybe women should start considering some of their friends that we probably put in the friend zone. Oh, Lux wanted to say hi. Say hi to the people. So yeah, I think I agree. Don't go to therapy and then be like, "Oh, found somebody on Tinder, found somebody on Hinge, and I'm just gonna like start talking to somebody." Like, don't do that. Um, but if you already have like a friend, I would just say like just keep somebody that can help hold you accountable and help you through those times, because you only go to your therapist like once a week or once every other week, and they can't be on call.
Yeah, that's cool, because to me, like what you just mentioned is like more of a support system. But if it's just like, that's cool. But I don't know. I guess if it was like a friend of the opposite sex that's been sitting in the cut waiting on you and your boyfriend to mix up,
waiting,
slide on in and get his chance, like that's a totally different situation. But yeah, like it's most definitely beneficial to have a support system, Because like you say, you may go to therapy once a month, once a week, once every 2 weeks. It just depends on, you know, what your plan of care is. But yeah. So dating friends. So I had this situation. I had this situation. Sonya, did I tell you about this 2 weeks ago? So the guy I met at Starbucks. I told you something.
Yeah, you did.
Anyway, so I met this guy at Starbucks, right? A couple of weeks ago. And talked forever, end up exchanging numbers. And so he was just like, you know, very big on, I guess he considers himself like some type of spiritual motivational speaker, but has a relationship with God, does all this other stuff, right? And so we talked for a couple of days. And so, you know, I finally told him, I was like, you know, everybody you meet, you're not supposed to jump in a relationship. Like sometimes God brings people in your life for, you know, certain things to like befriend you, just enlighten you on some things, hook you up with some things, you know, connections, like network, whatever the case may be. And he told me, and I told him, I said, you know, I'm old school. Like I still believe in courtship. Like I meet you, we get to know each other, we hang out, we date. Then we decide if we're compatible and equally yoked enough to get into a relationship. And it just kind of threw me for a loop because it just seemed so foreign to him, Mr. Spiritual Motivational Speaker / Minister / Deacon, whatever he wanted to call himself. He's just looking at me crazy like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like either we meant to be or we not. I'm just like, well, how do you know if you don't spend quality time with each other, courting and getting to know each other? Like if it's really meant to be. So he said, well, I didn't approach you to be your friend. I approached you to get into something. I'm just like, but how do you know? Like, how do you know? Long story short, cut all communication off because he didn't want to be my friend. So I'm like, it is what it is. It starts with friendship. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I didn't approach you to be your friend. Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, at least you're honest and you didn't have to like sift through his intentions. He made it very clear.
He made it very, very too clear.
Right.
Too clear.
But that's the way you want it. You want it clear.
But when you're that, I do want it. But when you're too anxious too soon, that raises a red flag for me. 3 days? No. Mm-mm. Yeah. And to say you don't want to be my friend and you're not trying to get to know me on a friendly level to see if it's going to evolve into something. Yeah, no.
Gotcha. Lauren, you have any dates recently? Any date stories or your dating shenanigans?
No. Mine might be, what did you say?
I said, didn't you just come from a wedding?
Yeah, but I didn't have a date.
No prospects, no numbers exchanged, no nothing.
No, I mean, I got a lot of you look gorgeous or you look like a model or you look, but I mean, nothing that was like.
You should have said, I do model. Let me slide you my agency number and just get on the phone.
I mean, I think
slide you my agency.
I think what I want to explore is probably something for another show because I think it's y'all gonna be like, this girl is crazy, and you're right, I am, to a certain extent. And I'll just pose it so that we can have like a timestamp here, and you can be like, this
okay.
What you got? It's not really a question, but like the thing is, I don't even.
I'm getting it out, Lauren.
I'm embarrassed.
Shut up. She said she embarrassed.
You didn't already halfway talk.
Embarrassment, but it is very silly, but it's something that I know I'm not the only one that struggles with, but it's like, why do we always want the guy that doesn't want us or like that? So they show they show interest. So it's not like they don't they don't find us attractive. They don't want to be with us, but I don't know. I don't want to say they play hard to get. Or they are like, they frame it like I'm not ready yet, or I'm not in a
I'm not in the position, or I kind of want to continue to build. They kind of like hide it behind all these things, but it's like there's something about you that I really like, and I'm going to continue to entertain it, even though
It's not good for us.
It's not good for us, but we continue to do it.
Mm.
And I'm not saying it's like every woman. I'm not saying that's the case, but I know at least 2 women that have done the same thing. And it's like, I know deep down I should like really stop hitting you up. And we had, it's not on no sneaky link type junk. It's like, I enjoy your company. I enjoy talking to you. So why is it that why we can't like make it official, or we can't take it to the next step or next, you know what I mean? Like, our conversations are great. He makes me laugh, all of these things, but it's like, why are you fighting it? Like, what is the problem? Obviously I know what the problem is, right? Just on to the next one. He's not the one for you, but for some reason we're tied up in trying to talk to the person that's not necessarily the best for us.
So I actually had that in my notes.
So
And
so we
in
won't have
talk
to do it today.
huh?
We don't have to talk about it today because I feel like it's
No, we don't have to talk about it today because I really wasn't going to talk about that piece of it today. The piece of it that I talked about was the first kiss that lasted for 9 to 10 years that caused me to make the wrong choice. What? What did she say? What did she say?
I said it's a long kiss. That's the kiss they keep on kissing.
No, that was just off and on, just through the years. I think it was, looking back now, he probably had a crush on me and just never said it and never verbalized it. And then just finally crushed it after, his friends started liking me and I started talking to his friend. And once I started talking to his friend, he cut it out. He wouldn't pin me anywhere or try to catch me off somewhere when I wasn't around people. But I was going to say that those experiences sometimes that you go through cause you to pick the person that's not good for you. No?
I agree.
You can't see that?
No. I see it. I can see it.
And then you continue to do the same thing over and over because you want what you want. Or your heart wants what the heart wants. Instead of what, of the person that really cares for you and loves you and likes you. And you just like, ugh, no. So Bud had a comment, y'all. Well, I agree to a certain extent, but I tell a lot of, I tell a lot of women, I have a lot of female friends already. I'm looking for something else, a relationship. So I guess he's saying when you went out with the gentleman that you went out with, Shamarian, and he was being clear on what he wanted.
Yeah.
I
was okay with that. Like, it was that initial attraction for sure. Right. I didn't think he approached me just to be his friend. That's not what I got from it. However, I did tell him that's what we should lead with and see, let's date, let's court. I'm about to make y'all laugh in a minute, but let's date, let's court, let's see, if we're compatible enough to actually be in a relationship. I can honestly say I've caught on my hand how many relationships I've been in, because I just don't jump into relationships. I can date, I can kick it with you, we can have fun, enjoy each other's company. But when it comes to getting in relationships, like, I have rules for getting into relationships. So I'm telling him this, right? I didn't think he approached me just to be his friend. He can go pick up an old lady on the street. He can go sit at a nursing home and volunteer somewhere. and get some friends. Like, I didn't think he approached me to be his friend, but that's where we have to lead with, like, I'm just not going to jump in a relationship with you. So we agree there is a mutual attraction, right? However, what I'm looking for, and like he said, he's looking for something real. It takes time to see what that real is and see if that person has what you're looking for. Those are internal traits that you have to spend quality time and get to see, if it's there or not, right? So, so yeah. So I called Sonya about this particular person a couple of weeks ago. And so like the next day, like we end up like meeting again at Starbucks. And I was like, man, I was looking for two things. I'm a little old school. So, I was looking for two things. It's like, okay, walk me to my car. One. No, two. The first thing was and he talks a lot. He talked a lot. So I'm just like, are you gonna offer me something to drink? Because my mouth is getting dry to talk to you. Didn't offer me anything to drink, not even water. Water at Starbucks is free. I ask for it all the time when I order my coffee. So, it's free. So it not that he didn't even ask if I wanted coffee or anything to drink, but he didn't even ask, like, do you want some water? Ice water at Starbucks, get any size. It's free, from a tall to a venti. It's free. Just ask for it. So anyway, so long story short, I came to find out, about this particular person, that he was not even financially stable enough to buy me a $5 drink from Starbucks. So I had to ask him, I say, so do you think that their main focus should be getting into a relationship? Like, shouldn't you be focused on yourself and getting yourself together before you're trying to like get involved in type of, in a relationship? And he was like, well, no, I kind of think it all ties into each other. I'm just like, okay. So what I got from that was he was trying to get in a situation to where he was looking for somebody to help a brother out, that's what that was. Like, he was just in a bad place, and he was looking for somebody to help a brother out. He was a homosexual. Look it up, and you guys can figure out what that is. He was a homosexual, and he couldn't even afford a $5 drink at Starbucks. But you think you have time to be sitting up here entertaining females than out there looking for a job and bettering yourself? Like, I couldn't understand that. So that was his whole, anxiousness into not wanting to be friends and just like jump straight into a relationship. And I'm just like, yeah, no. That's why you got to take time to get to know people, because you never know what their true intentions are.
True. So, Mr. Whitaker, hello, Mr. Whitaker. Some men are intimidated by strong women and will hide feelings because if he makes one bad move, he knows it's a wrap.
It depends. That depends for me. I always tell a person to be honest and let me know what I'm walking into. Like, we're strong, and I think too, what guys don't understand is like, yeah, we're strong, independent women, but you have to, for the most part, our strength comes from some type of struggle. So just because you may feel we may not accept it or may not understand, you have to give us the benefit of the doubt to see what your struggle is, and let us make an informed decision on if we want to help you out of that struggle, be a part of that struggle, or like whatever. But you just can't prejudge us and just be like, oh, I ain't gonna tell her because, and it's an automatic cutoff because she's a strong, independent Black woman. No, we understand. Just be real about your situation.
And then if you can come in and just be that strong person, and I don't have to be that strong woman, I surrender. I'll give it to you.
You never know. But lying about
be able to trust.
is not going to help the situation. That'll be the very thing that makes me walk out. Lauren, shaking your head.
He said this guy didn't offer water.
Not even water. Water is free at Starbucks. It's free. It's free. I stay thirsty, so anytime I order a coffee, I order a venti ice water right along with any type of coffee that I drink. It's free. Yeah. But I understood the situation, and I told him, I said, I appreciate you for being honest with me about that. And then we had a whole conversation about his priorities. I guess he that's what I'm saying. You never know how a person's gonna react. So like, be honest. And like, I truly feel like God brings certain people in your life, for certain reasons, certain seasons and lessons. So we had a whole conversation about priorities after that. I'm like, do you really think you should be like trying to holler at females and do, this, that, and the third when you should be doing,
that this makes me think about, I was listening to Jerry Flowers. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Jerry Flowers, but he's a pastor here in Houston. And he ministers quite often on relationships, and he had these boxes, and he had names on these boxes, and one of the boxes said assignment. So this person is your assignment, but you tried to make your assignment your boo. And in making your assignment your boo,
you failed the whole test.
You failed the whole test. It was
The
a whole bunch
final
of dating shenanigans.
quizzes and everything else.
So, I remember my girlfriend telling me too when I started dating, she's like, when you meet people, you may be attracted to them. You think they fine, they got it going on. You be like, ooh, yeah. But that person may strictly be an assignment. It could be a business, prospect. It could be, like Jerry Flowers said, your assignment. You're supposed to be helping them, or they're supposed to be helping you do something. And then,
Right, you
we
never know.
convoluted trying to make them our boo. So when people come into your life, you gotta look at it and be like, okay, why are they really here?
Yeah. And for sure, like, I know personally for me, like, I pray about the people that come in my life. Ooh, especially after that last relationship. I pray about people that come into my life and, just basically like ask God, okay, what do you want me to do? What am I here for? What is he here for? And it's just not when dating. It's
It's even
friendship.
friendships. Yeah.
Friendships, family is everything for me. Like, I've just learned to pray about all type of ships.
Yeah.
Because you for sure don't want the lesson to be missed. So.
Oops. Any other comments or questions?
Trying to let me go over here in the comments. See what they talking about.
We got them all. The last one was Teresa said you schooled him on his priorities.
I schooled him on his priorities.
Yes.
Sorry about that, y'all. I mean, it was a conversation to be had. I'm just like, Adam had a job before Eve came into the picture. He was tending to the garden,
Right.
making sure, everything was set and straight. He had a job. This Negro didn't have a job. And had 4 kids. Something's off. Yeah, something's off. Like, no. Before you asking for Eve, you need to make sure your garden is well tended to. Not saying it's going to be perfect, not saying it's not going to be no weeds popping up anywhere in between the flowers in the garden. However, tend to it. Be on the lookout. Be willing to fix whatever is wrong there. Be open.
Okay, so ladies.
Yeah.
This is Bud. He's like, he knows Sonya. We grew up on the same street together. Back in Harlem, Clark. But I'm not sure how old you two ladies are. He's over 50. Do you think sex is important? Because I do. I think if that is not good, that could be a problem. So are you running into women that have a problem with sex, Bud, that are 50 and over?
He said sex.
So these two ladies, you got 30 and 40. So you got 30, 40, and 50 on here. Or 51. Or am I 51? How old am I? I think I'm 51.
So you 51.
Okay, I had to think. You know, hey, falling into 50 and holding that 50 for the rest of my life.
Okay, yeah, my computer was going dead. I had to plug it back in. Yeah, so you're now 51.
Thank you.
I'm over 50. Do you think sex is important? Because I do. I think that is not good.
And that could be a problem. Of course, it could be a problem.
That needs to be a discussion held up front. That needs to be an honest discussion up front. You need to let that person know what you're working with. And I'm all for healthcare over here. I'm a healthcare advocate. No, but like it's not, sex is not everything, but it's most definitely is important. And I think you need to have an honest discussion with whoever you're intending to take that route with, and let that person know what you're working with.
So I have a clarifying question for Bud. When you say that sex is not important, are you talking about like at the beginning? Are you talking about just in general?
No, it is important.
Well, I mean, right? That's what I'm saying.
It's not everything.
Right. I'm not saying that it's not important at all, but just like at what point? Because when I'm trying to get to know somebody, the moment you insert sex or you even bring up the topic,
it's a turn off.
It's not even a turn off. You change the whole direction of where relationship building is going to go. Because then the only thing that's on your mind is all talk. I want to see how it is, or there's a motive to get to that point because you've now planted the seed. I want to see it come to fruition, or I want to experience that. So the longer you can wait without bringing it up, so that you can really get to know the person, so then when it does happen, it's more special, or it not special, but it means a little more, right? So I think perhaps, but that's why I said, can I get clarification? Is it at a certain point in the relationship building process? Because if you meet a woman, you talk to her for a day or two, and then maybe day 3, you bring it up, and she's like, well, that's not important to me right now. I want to know about your character. I want to know if you're a man of integrity. I want to know if you're a man with a plan, because essentially those are the things that's going to last. Sorry, bud, but sometimes men don't perform well. They're going to perform, right? Like your men can have sex for as long as they want to, right? But the performance is what would matter, right? So
not all of them, girl.
Not all of them, right? I'm not making it an absolute thing and saying it's across the board by any means. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is women that are mature or women that actually want longevity, they're not basing their relationship off of sex. They want to feel secure, they want to be protected, and the sex will be the icing on the cake. So
and I think what they realize is that you're spending more time outside of the bedroom than you are in the bedroom.
Yeah.
So let's be real. So like all those things like Lauren mentioned, those are things that happen outside the bedroom. Those are things that's going to keep the household going, your relationship going, you have a family, the kids, that's going to keep, everything going. Like you spend more time outside of the bedroom than you do inside of the bedroom. So like I say, sex it matters, but it's not everything.
And so
I'm an advocate for being honest about your situation.
So to his question, he said, what if
you got all them other things? Let's see how we can fix it.
Yeah. So he said, what if it's not good, but everything is great about that person? So that, again, it goes back to relationship building. If you have that relationship, the closer you are, you have the ability, like it's about growing together, right?
Yes.
If you don't like the way it's done, show her how to do it. The moment she does something that you ain't teach her, you're gonna be like, whoa, where you been at? Where you learned that from? You know what I'm saying? So the fact that it's not great means that there's room to grow. There's room to make to create your sex life the way you want it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely. And then I think you always have to understand too, like you can't base your current experience off your past experience too. So like whoever you choose to take it to the next level with sex, like you have to learn that person and you have to learn what they like and what they don't like, So it's not a matter of, where that come from. Where you learn that at, you know, who you been with, who you been talking to, what you've been watching. Like, you have to take the time to get to know that person and be in tune with the person that you're with, and not what the person before liked, and you trying to bring it into the next situation.
That's it.
But she liked it, he liked it, and you thinking that person that made you the man, so you think you coming in this next relationship as, you know,
the man, and it's a whole totally different person.
Yeah, it doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah.
Oof, child, just be honest. I lead with honesty. Just be honest.
And then also, I like to say to men, when you're dating, so many. My experience has been they lead with the sex thing, or they having a conversation that I think is just too early in the game.
That's what I say. That's not a good thing to lead with.
No,
But
it's not.
but what's crazy is most people, most men do lead with that, and they think that that is what women want.
It's not
But
attractive.
no. You know what I'm saying? It's just so funny. Like, wait till you see what I'm packing. Turn off. Don't, like, what?
Just because you packed it don't mean you know how to use it.
Can you hold an intellectual conversation? Number one. Like,
can I take you around my coworkers?
Yeah.
It makes us feel like
my boss.
You just want us for one thing too.
Objects.
Objects, yeah.
Like objects. It does. It does.
Where's the romance?
Was that the last? Let me see. I'm trying to go back to the comments. So I hope that answers his question. I think we clarified a lot on that one. I hope that answers his question.
Hey, Fayrella. Amen, ladies. Hey, Tony.
Exactly.
Good
Girl,
evening.
Exactly. She exactly does. We didn't say it a lot, girl.
Yes. So I guess our next podcast, or one of the ones we'll come back, is Lauren, you mentioned noting, wanting what the heart wants.
And then the things that we accept and we know we shouldn't, because I saw the post. It was something on, I don't know if it was like Shade Room or something, where somebody had started a Twitter thread, and the Twitter thread was, ladies, when did you know he hated you? And so, like, things that man did, and you be like, dang, like this dude really don't like me, or this dude really hate me, right? And so it was like women were sharing experiences of them being in a relationship where it became 100% clear that this dude just did not want to be with her, right? And so it just made me think, like, things that I tolerated that I shouldn't have. And it's not, don't think extreme. Nobody put their hands on me. Nobody beat me, but just in terms of
not. Because to this day, I asked you, let's go roll up.
but like some women were sharing stories of like abuse, that's right? Crazy. Physical abuse, but most of it was just like verbal abuse, or just a simple fact of like they just didn't consider them. Like there was no consideration. So like they would be like, they would go get food, and then she'd be like, "Well, what about me?" He'd be like, "Okay." Like, so they were just sharing some like really real things. And so while it's never been that extreme for me or to me, things just like words that were said that I kind of like laughed off, because I got 3 brothers. Like I can take jokes. Like there are things that I can handle from men that perhaps most women can't, because I have thick skin, or I just think it's funny, or a joking manner, especially if the friendship relationship was developed off of like, we having fun, we kikiing it up, we laughing. So then when a person says something, I'd be like, dang, was he playing or was he for real? Like, and so after you get like a whole bunch of, dang, is he playing? Is he for real? You'd be like, dang, he might be for real. Like, it's like one of those things. So, yeah.
Okay. Start thinking, oh Lord. Teresa. Okay. No, I was just reading Teresa.
The comments.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
How
think
about
we answered. Go ahead.
Faye said, how about getting engaged while seriously dating you? Hmm? How about getting engaged while seriously dating you? Kate, Faye,
Can
can
you
you
clarify,
clarify that a little bit?
Faye? How about getting engaged
While
while
seriously
seriously
dating
dating?
you? I mean, if you seriously dating, then that leads to engagement. That's part of the plan, but that's when you.
Oh, she
Oh, that's
said
when you know he
that's
hates
when
you.
you know he hates you.
Mhm.
Oh, he got engaged to somebody else.
Um,
I wish a mofo would. That's when you pull up, load your girls up.
no, that's when you pray about it and let the Lord handle it because he can handle it way better than you can, even though it take him too long to do it sometimes, you think.
I
But
agree, Sonya. That's after you load your girls up and you leaving his house.
but what's the point?
So
So
pray
you gonna go to jail?
God don't let the authorities come your way.
Girl,
You're like, Lord,
no.
I know we shouldn't have did that. That was wrong, and I just let my flesh get the best of me. However, can you please not let the authorities knock on my door? Wow.
Sniper rifle loaded.
Hey, I ain't say that now, Faye. You did. You did. I just said load your girls up and get a long drive and you're out.
Sorry that happened to you, Faye.
That's crazy.
Ugh. But it happens.
Yeah.
There are men out here living double lives.
That's like all it's
And
fair is
women
in love and
too.
war. Yeah, women these days too, for sure, to keep
Yeah.
it equal. But like they say, all is fair is in love and war. And I think that's also why when you feel like you're ready to be a part of the dating pool, that you do need to be completely healed, because you don't know what scenario is going to come your way, and you have to be strong enough to be willing to walk away from it, knowing it just wasn't for you.
Yeah. And then Bud
That's why
has a
I don't think you
okay.
should cut your healing prematurely to date somebody else, because you don't know what these people gonna throw at you in a dating pool.
I'm
And you
good
got
now, but he wants me back.
mm-mm.
Run. Run.
Bud says,
Yes.
besides being patient, what do you do to get a woman? I'm
That
assuming
has been
mentally
damaged to open
damaged.
up again.
Yeah.
So, answer to that question is you
Therapy.
cannot make a woman open up again. If she's not ready yet, the
She's
most
not ready.
responsible thing for you to do is walk away until she's ready. Do not subject yourself to being the punching bag, or whatever it is. Like, don't subject yourself to that. You just gonna have to walk away, and then if God sees fit, if you what's the saying? If you love something, let it go, and if it comes back, then that's how you'll know.
Was
So
meant to
let it
be.
go, and let her heal up and then come back. But you can't stick around and be like, oh well, she's just healing, or she don't make excuses for her. She's just not ready, and that's okay. People heal at their own time. Just like women can't change men, you cannot force somebody to heal at the rate that you want them to heal.
Yeah, for sure.
That's good, ladies. That's good. So before we head out, anyone else have any comments, questions before Silver Fox and the Foxies head out for the night? This has been good. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We truly, truly appreciate it. And again, if you haven't gone to SilverFox Sonya podcast and like that page, please do so, because I may be on SilverFox Sonya for a little while longer, but I'm trying to transfer everyone over to SilverFox Sonya podcast, because many of you that I truly know, that I talk to, that I am friends with, I'm missing a lot of your posts because I started accepting all of these friend requests under SilverFox Sonya. So I'm trying to push everyone over to SilverFox Sonya podcast. So if you all could go there and make sure that you have liked SilverFox Sonya podcast, I thank you in advance. As well as YouTube. I'd like to come up on YouTube as well, but you have to have 1,000 subscribers first before you can go live on YouTube. So if you have not subscribed to my YouTube, I would
Please.
greatly appreciate if you subscribe to SilverFox Sonya on YouTube. So Teresa said, this has been real good. Much wisdom coming from 3 beautiful women. Thank you so very much, T.
Thank
You
you.
know her, Shamarian. You know her. You probably don't
Yeah.
remember her. You remember
No.
Teresa?
No, Teresa.
No, wait. No, that's not Teresa from Atlanta. That
Oh.
is Teresa. Remember the praise dancer that I had at the wedding?
Oh yeah.
That's
I know her.
Teresa. That's Big Red.
I was just
Big
say I know
Red.
light skin.
Big Red.
I know light skin. Mm-mm. Thank you. We try, and we really do love our men, and we try to keep it balanced. And it's to learn from each other, to perfect each other, to get some love connections going in the future, to heal each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Foxies, thank you so very much for tuning in to the SilverFox Sonya podcast. We appreciate you all. We love you all. And we have one last comment here from Mr. Whitaker. You ladies are real brave. God bless you in your dating.
Ooh,
Thank
Lord
you
bless
so
us.
very much.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy
Thank
Ghost.
you.
Bless us. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Robert.
Yes, Robert, thank you. And thank you for being such an encourager to me over this past year. Thank you, sir. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so very much. But Foxies, we're going to head out for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. You all have a blessed week.
You too. Love you
Peace.
guys.
Love you.